Story 1, AITA for telling my sister I don't care that her house is bigger and cheaper than mine? Edit 2 just wanted to clear some things up. I got such a good deal because a friend of my aunt had to go into assisted living. She wanted to sell it ASAP, I was able to pay in cash, and she gave me a good deal because she knew I was looking and that I'd take great care of it. I'm also in a shady according to tech brothers who never leave the north side area. Also, somebody mentioned that I shouldn't look down on my hometown. I will, and I'm not sorry for it. I faced a lot of discrimination, and I had to leave because a group of people made it their mission to harass me because they didn't like the way I was born. Edit. Thank you everybody for your replies. Maybe half an hour after posting this, I tripped on some uneven sidewalk and broke my phone. I had to get it replaced, thank goodness for iCloud, and the cashier just gave me really bad anxiety. Just know that I appreciate all the comments even if I can't respond right now. My sister 24F and I 26M grew up in a small town that I pretty much got chased out of. I ended up a couple hours away in Chicago. I absolutely love it here. There's things open after 7 p.m., I can walk and take transit everywhere, and there's actual jobs for disabled people like me. A few months ago, I bought a house in the middle of my lease. It's an 800 square feet bungalow in a lovely neighborhood that didn't need any work at all. It cost $220,000. For comparison, my sister bought a 20-year-old 2,400 square feet house for $170,000 last year. In our hometown, my house would go for maybe $80,000. She's not in a bad area or anything, it just has nothing to offer young people who haven't lived there for several generations. My sister came over yesterday to see the house for the first time, which was an event in itself because she's scared of Chicago. She liked the photos and called it a good starter home. I plan to live here forever, but was pretty disappointed when she actually got to look around. She claimed it was barely bigger than a studio apartment. She asked how much I paid, I told her, and she said, I literally paid $50,000 less for something much newer, prettier, and 3 times the size. I went, okay? Congrats, but I don't care. I'd rather buy somewhere I actually want to live even if it costs more. She accused me of being condescending, and said that I shouldn't act like I'm too good for our hometown. I told her I wanted to move past this, and offered to walk with her to the KFC a couple blocks away. She said she'd rather go home, and that I should reimburse her for gas since she drove all the way out 2 hours to see me, only for her to have to leave after half an hour because of my attitude. I told her I wouldn't be doing that and that she chose to leave, and she went, "You've turned into a complete jerk ever since you moved here." I told her to leave, and she left. I'm not sure who's TA here because we aren't the type to involve family in our arguments. But she's telling her friends who are apparently saying I'm a jerk who just wanted to humiliate a woman. That one says, NTA. There was no reason for her to keep bragging about her house even when you explained your reasons for paying as much as you did. She was the one who chose to belittle your home which you were happy with, then expected that you pay for gas because you supposedly had her leave when she slandered your home, then proceeded to call you a jerk. I hope you like your new home, regardless of what anyone says. New P3721 says, NTA. It's your money to spend on whatever house you want. She doesn't live there, who cares if she likes it? I hope you're happy in your home. Booboo773 says, you're the condescending one? She literally spoke down to you bragging about the size and price of her house. NTA op. The only one with an attitude is your sourpuss of a sister. Story 2, AITA for getting my stepsiblings taken away after my mom and stepdad kicked me out. I 16FM in a really bad situation and am not sure if I did the right thing, so I need some input from internet people because if I trust any of the adults around me anymore. My parents split up a couple of years ago because my mom cheated. I haven't seen my dad since he left because he moved out of state, but he calls or texts sometimes. So I lived with my mom even though I didn't want to because she moved her boyfriend in and I hate both of them. He came with 2 kids, 7M, 5M that he is most of the time, and they are the worst behaved kids I've ever met. I was always in trouble because I would have to babysit them, but they crash around and break things and am not allowed to punish them, but it's my fault anyway since I was watching them. They broke the TV throwing a baseball in the house and my stepdad lost his mind and demanded I pay him back for it, but I told him I was sick of being blamed for his awful kids and he could shove it. It turned into a big fight and they kicked me out and told me not to come back until my attitude was better. They took my phone, so I tried to call my dad from a friend's phone, but he never answered and I couldn't remember my grandma's number. My friend told her parents even though I asked her not to tell anyone, and they called the cops and it turned into a whole thing. My mom told them that I ran away because I was mad I had to babysit, but they didn't believe her, I guess, because my grandma finally came and picked me up and she says I'm staying with her until my dad can get here to take me back with him. My mom called my grandma last week yelling because her boyfriend's kids got taken away to go live with their mom because of the whole thing and it's my fault. My grandma says it's not my problem, but I know the kids hate going to their moms because they pitch a fit any weekend they have to go. Also, I know this is a big hassle for my grandma even though she doesn't say anything and it's not good for her health. Now my dad has to come back from overseas to deal with it too. Maybe I should have just apologized even though it wasn't my fault and waited it out. Someone you don't know 70 says, NTA. I cannot express how much you are NTA here. No 16-year-old should be left in a situation like this. Your mom and dad need to take care of their children, they can't leave it to you. It sounds like your dad simply ducked out and your mom started exploiting you so that her new BF wouldn't have to take care of his kids. I'll bet those kids hate going to their moms because she doesn't let them run around like savages. Your friend did the right thing by calling the cops. I just hope that your grandma is treating you right and that you can spend the last couple of years of your childhood just being a child for a change. I'm sure the cops didn't believe your mom because her story makes no sense. What kind of kid in this day and age runs away from home without taking their phone with them? Winton says, my grandma says it's not my problem, but I know the kids hate going to their moms because they pitch a fit any weekend they have to go. Also, I know this is a big hassle for my grandma even though she doesn't say anything and it's not good for her health. Now my dad has to come back from overseas to deal with it too. Maybe I should have just apologized even though it wasn't my fault and waited it out. The kids are probably getting the parenting they need at their moms. They definitely are not getting it from their dad. Your dad has to deal with the consequences of being a parent? Goddamn. Grandma, she's dealing with the consequences of your mom's shitty parenting, dad's absent parenting. Sucks for her, but that's not your fault. That environment is not great for you. Stick it out with grandma and talk to your dad about it. Hopefully they'll work something out. East_hospital_2775 says, NTA, and this is so not your fault. Child Services doesn't remove children for an isolated incident like this. Either you're leaving out details you think are irrelevant, or there is additional shit you don't know. I'm sorry you're having to deal with all that, and I'm more sorry someone made you feel like this was on you. Thanks for watching, I love you. Follow Reddit Echoes for more.